Okay. My name is Tyler White. I'm with Prolific Partners Realty Group. I'm also a realtor. I'm part owner of Prolific Partners Realty Group. It's me and my brother, which are owners. I'm also a licensed realtor in the state of Texas, and I own my own brokerage out here with Prolific Realty Co. And yeah, it's a little bit about myself.
Okay, so we're going to dive in short-term rentals. How many short-term rentals do you guys own and manage in the city of Houston?
So right now we have a total of 14 units and continuing to grow in the city of Houston.
Oh
Um,
my gosh,
yeah,
first of all, I didn't know that. Congratulations, that's huge. Right, put me on
thank you.
payroll. No.
We are looking for some people to bring on, so
Uh,
we might need to bring you on. We need somebody that is well equipped with communication and communicating with guests and figuring things out on their own. So we are looking for other people to bring on to the program.
okay, so getting into that, I know that you just told me that you guys manage and own 14 properties in Houston. So how do you, are they in neighborhoods? Are they apartment buildings?
So all of ours are homes, single family homes and triplexes. We are in a gated community which is HOA regulated. We do have three of them in one neighborhood that has an HOA community. So we're kind of spread out between all of them in what we do.
And how do you guys keep a good relationship with your neighbors?
Biggest, my bad, I'm
Sorry, I
sorry.
didn't mean to cut you off. I just know that neighbors some tend to not like short-term rental owners. So how do you guys keep that relationship?
Biggest thing is communication. One thing we have realized is neighbors, they have their own agenda. No matter how much you communicate with them, no matter how much you try to show up for them and protect them, they have their own agenda and they do their own things. So we try to keep the peace by not allowing parties or anything of that nature in our Airbnbs. We do have quiet time in all of our units from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. So those are quiet hours. They know that there shouldn't be any loud music, any people outside causing disturbances. So those are just different ways we try to keep the peace with the neighbors and just respect their quiet time too.
Right. Okay. So that leads into my next question. So one of the biggest complaints that we've received from our viewers or from neighbors who are neighbors to short-term rental owners is noise.
Mhm.
Even with the quiet time, even with the no party policy, it's something that they're complaining that is still going on. Also, the flux of people coming in and out the homes. How
Mhm.
do you guys minimize that?
So we minimize it because all of our homes are equipped with cameras. We have cameras on every side of all of our homes, so we know what's going on. When we see these things going on, when you see the heavy influx of people going in and out of homes, we kind of we have an eye on those homes. We kind of pay attention to. So my business partner and I, we pay a great deal of attention to our phones. We get alerts almost every day, all day about guests going in and out. And when we see a lot of people going in and out, we kind of will reach out to them and say, "Hey, are you guys having a party? Or are you having an unauthorized party?" And if we do see the unauthorized parties going on, we'll automatically shut it down completely. We don't allow it.
Okay. So managing 14 homes, how big is that team? How does that work?
It's so we have a team of 10 people total,
Mhm.
right? Most of that team is our cleaning crew. So when it comes to the daily operations in the 14, it's kind of just DeAndre, and two more staff members.
Okay.
For a
And
while,
DeAndre is
it
your
was say
partner.
it one time.
DeAndre is your partner.
Yes, DeAndre is my partner. Yep. So before that, it was just me and DeAndre, and we were managing everything. It became a lot. We got burned out real quick, and we knew that hey, working in our business is not going to get us where we needed to be. So the only way we could be able to scale was hiring people um, that were of high value, high quality, that can get things done. So we knew we had to make a change.
Okay. And so let's jump into the ordinance that is taking place January 2026. But
Mm-hmm.
applications for that open in August.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with it. I'm pretty sure you are.
Really?
But you guys have to register your all 14 of your short-term rentals for
Yes,
nearly
ma'am.
$300.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the biggest things, big takeaways that I got from that is that you have to have a 24-hour contact that you have to display now, that you have to make available to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys implementing that change? Is that always something that you guys had available, or how are you guys going to implement that between your work staff?
When you speak about the 24-hour contact, in which way?
It said that now a 24-hour contact have to be displayed. I'm not sure if that's outside or
Oh, okay. Oh, you talking about
readily
the
available.
signage?
It has to be
Um,
readily available.
I think it's a good and a bad thing because it lets people that's coming into the neighborhood know that hey, there is a short-term rental here. So be curious. I mean, be cautious if you do want to move in this neighborhood. Because we can't control people,
Mhm.
right? We can't control what they do. We can't control what they throw parties. We can only try to minimize um, just what people do.
Mhm.
Now, the bad thing is it makes us a target. And with becoming a target, a lot of neighbors, like I spoke about earlier, they have their own agenda when it comes to short-term rentals. And with having their own agenda, you can get complaints that aren't truly complaints, and they can just be complaining because they know, hey, if they get 3 of these within 2 years, they have to shut it down, right?
Mhm.
And just to speak of that, in one of our neighborhoods where we have 3 units at, we were getting complaints from the HOA almost every month, and we were getting $100 fines, and we were having to go to the HOA and get those fines removed because they weren't our units. We went as far as getting spotlight ring cameras that we actually put in the alleyway of the complex because we were getting complaints and we were looking at the cameras and it's not even our unit. But they're complaining because, hey, we know you're a short-term rental. We want to get you shut down as best as possible. So let's just complain on you. So with this ordinance and having the signs displayed, I just think it could be a good and a bad thing, and more so a bad thing for short-term rental owners that are actually making a living off of this. This is how we pay our bills. This is how we feed our families. This is how our staff members are being paid. And our cleaners. One of our cleaners made $60,000 last year.
Oh,
So are you saying that you're going to basically dismantle her entire income? And she
mhm.
bought a house last year as well. So there's a lot of people that can be hurt from this ordinance going forward.
Yeah. So talking about that, because with the ordinance, I read through it and it said if you get, I think, more than two noise complaints, they have the right to shut you down. So now it's not only dealing with HOAs, but now it's dealing with the city of Houston. And we know that trying to fight something with the city of Houston can be very rigorous, a rigorous process.
Uphill
So,
battle.
talk to me about how you guys are preparing for that.
So we've been trying to kind of navigate it right now. We don't have a solution for it, but it's been a conversation we've had. We've had multiple conversations. We're just trying to see what are the restrictions that they're trying to impose? Like, is it high volume noise? Because, it could be somebody's home and they're just having a party. People throw parties at their houses all the time and have noise complaints, right? So, what's the difference in that and a short term rental?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where it's kind of unfair. And with being in Houston and we don't have any zoning in Houston, how can you put this type of regulation in place when people throw parties at their house? Do they get fines or are they in trouble for throwing a party at their house? But we just don't understand what the actual restrictions are going to be and where they're kind of, headed with this because noise complaints can be anything. It could be now when it comes to shootings, we do see things happen in other short-term rentals, when it comes to those things, I think that should be an automatic shutdown. If people are shooting and it makes it unsafe for the community, for sure. But as noise complaints, I don't see how you could regulate it.
Right. So since you are familiar with the ordinance, is there anything else besides the noise complaint issue that you find an issue with some of the rules that they have towards short-term rental owners?
Uh, I think the biggest thing is like, why should I have to pay you to operate something that we started? We're going on year 5 in the business of short-term rentals. To have to pay $275 for each unit is just like, okay, how is this helping the community? How is this helping the city? Is it just a money play? Is it a money grab? Or is these funds going to be used for, the proper regulation, the proper people coming to these homes and seeing if these things are being ran the right way? Because although we have a great business and we run our business the right way, everybody else doesn't do that. So we can't have one or two bad apples spoiling it for the rest of us.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really good takeaway. I didn't even think about that. So since you guys have been doing this for 5 years, let's talk about some of the changes that you have seen since day one to now.
Mhm.
Like, I know that there's a lot. Have you guys seen an increase in business, a decrease in business? Are you guys like, just talk to me about some of the biggest differences you've noticed from starting until now.
So it's kind of it's been an up and down
Mhm.
sort of business. Things were great at one point in time. We're making a lot of money, but things I think got bad when people felt like this was a get rich quick scheme. And when we saw that influx of people coming into the space, um, a lot of the business owners that have been here for a while were hurt because you have people that are just coming into the space trying to operate a business with a passive mindset, and it slowed things down for a lot of people. So there was a heavy influx on Airbnbs coming into the space in 21 and 22, and it slowed down business. But you kind of seen over time the people that were really in this for a business, they kind of faded. They stayed in the business, and the people that were here for the get rich quick scheme, it kind of faded out as time went on. So there have been a lot of changes, especially with Airbnb regulations. They have been more consumer friendly lately, which, it hurts the owners because we're the ones providing them with these homes. We're the ones providing them with these amenities and, being on their every beck and call. And, all it takes is a guest to complain about something and they will side with the guest for something that may not be true. So, we've seen a lot of ups and downs in the business. But anything that you do, the strong always survive.
Yeah, that is very true. And I know you guys will go with the flow. But seeing these ordinance pass, and all of these regulations and rules are becoming stricter, what do you see happening in the future for short-term rentals? Because like we discussed earlier, a lot of neighborhoods or HOAs are trying to ban short-term rentals from their communities. And as we all know, we have a right to let whoever we want live in our property once we, own it. So how do you feel like what changes do you anticipate happening in the future with short-term rentals?
I see a lot of people exiting the space.
Hmm.
Um, just because, like I said, it's intensive work over a long period of time. And then I see people transitioning into more midterm stays. So midterms is 30 days or more.
Hmm.
So I think we'll see more of that happening, kind of directing their spaces toward travel nurses, business execs, and things of that nature. So I kind of see it transitioning that way. But I think it kind of hurts the short-term rental space because we have a lot of great things coming into the city. We have a lot of great events coming, just like FIFA is coming to the city. Um, what are you going to do when you have these big families that don't want to go into a hotel? They don't want to be separated. They want to be in a great space, but they only want to be here for a week. Um, it's just a lot of things going on. But I think I see people transitioning to the midterms more than short term rooms.
Yeah, I definitely see that as well. Um, but thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to add or you wanted me to add to the story? I think that we got a lot of information. I think the story is going to be really good. So, but if there's anything else you want to add.
No, I think that's about it. Matter of fact, yeah, just protect the owners. We put a lot of work into this. We love what we do. We do this to provide people with an experience. We talk about it all the time. This is about experience. It's not about people coming in giving us money. Like, no, we want people to come in and be like, hey, Prolific really has a great thing going on. I always want to stay at one of their properties. So, protect us on the back end. And I think the city should actually ask us, how do we feel about it? How do the owners feel about it instead of just the neighbors? Because we're $1 million business. We
Mhm.
have staff that we have to pay, right? And we want them to have a job. If you take away, if you restrict us and give us more regulations, it hurts us as a business, which in turn hurts the pay that we can that feeds the family for our staff. So we have to be able to feed them.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Hold on. Let me stop.